He looked in the mirror, not at his face but lower. That quiet, insecure glance, the one he never spoke of, was a ritual he had carried since adolescence. The locker room jokes. The late-night internet searches. The advertisements screaming bigger is better. Over time it wasn't just about anatomy anymore. It became something deeper. A question not just of size but of worth. Am I enough? Across generations, cultures, and continents, men have been taught one unspoken rule. Your size defines your strength, your appeal, your masculinity. It doesn't matter how kind you are, how committed, how intelligent or present. If you're not big enough down there, you're less of a man. That's the story they were sold. And sadly, many still buy it. But here's what few men realize. Women were never the ones selling that story. The obsession with size has far more to do with the male ego than with female pleasure. In truth, when researchers have asked women what they care about most in the bedroom, size consistently ranks near the bottom of the list. What rises to the top instead? Emotional connection, trust, confidence, attentiveness, creativity, presence, the feeling of being seen, wanted, and respected. These are the things that leave a woman craving more, not centimeters on a measuring tape. Still, the myth persists. Why? Because masculinity in many cultures has been reduced to performance. Men are taught to perform strength, perform confidence, perform virility. And the body, especially one specific part of it, becomes the symbol of that performance. So when a man questions his size, what he's really questioning is his ability to be seen as desirable, as dominant, as worthy of love. It's not about physical compatibility. It's about identity. Esther Perel, the renowned psychotherapist, often says that desire isn't just about the body, it's about the meaning we attach to the body. When a man believes he's inadequate, that belief seeps into every touch, every moment of intimacy. It creates tension, performance anxiety, withdrawal. And paradoxically, the very thing he fears, rejection, becomes more likely not because of his size, but because of the energy he brings into the room. In studies where women were shown a range of body types and asked to rate attraction or satisfaction, the results were strikingly consistent. Women care far more about emotional connection, mutual pleasure, rhythm, and the confidence of their partner than they do about dimensions. In fact, for many, overly large anatomy can actually be uncomfortable, even painful. So where does the myth come from? Porn mostly. Media. Locker room culture. A world where male worth is externalized, measured in trophies, salaries, and yes, inches. In porn, the men are exaggerated. The sounds are amplified. The women are scripted. Everything is about domination and spectacle, not intimacy or authenticity. It's theater, not truth. And when that becomes the benchmark, reality starts to feel disappointing, even when it's perfectly functional, even when it's beautiful. The truth is, most women don't remember the exact size of a man they were intimate with, but they remember how he made them feel. They remember the tone of his voice, the way his hands moved, the rhythm of his breath, the safety or the tension in his presence. They remember whether he made them feel like a participant or a performance, whether he asked what they liked, whether he listened when they answered. In the real world, female pleasure is nuanced. It's not a switch to be flipped by size alone. In fact, many of the areas that bring women the deepest pleasure, mentally, emotionally, physically, aren't even inside the body. They're in the context, in anticipation, in feeling wanted without being pressured, in being touched with awareness, in surrendering to the moment, not to the measure. When women describe the best sex of their lives, very few mention physical traits. They talk about presence, eye contact, slowness, being kissed like they mattered, being touched like their body wasn't being conquered but understood. And ironically, the men who brought them there weren't the ones obsessed with how they measured up. They were the ones who let go of ego and leaned into connection. That's what most men get wrong about this whole conversation. They think women want big. But what most women want is a man who isn't ruled by his insecurity. A man who doesn't approach sex like a test he has to pass, but like a dance they co-create. Someone who knows that pleasure is not linear. It is layered, textured, surprising, and deeply personal. Yes, anatomy plays a role. No one denies that. But it is not the headline. It is not the defining factor. What matters most is confidence, not size. And not the kind of confidence that comes from arrogance or overcompensation. But the quiet, grounded kind, the kind that says, I'm here. I see you. I'm not performing. I'm connecting. And here's the most liberating truth of all. That kind of confidence is available to every man. It isn't built in a gym. It isn't sold in a pill. It's cultivated through awareness, vulnerability, and willingness to learn. It's built when you stop asking, am I big enough? And start asking, am I present enough? Because in the end, no one is measuring. They're remembering. And what stays with a woman, long after the lights go out and the years move on, is not what you looked like but how you made her feel in your presence. Did she feel safe? Did she feel beautiful? Did she feel desired for who she is, not just how she looked? Did you see her, really see her, and let her see you too? That's what matters. So the next time you ask yourself, does size really matter to women? Answer with this: not nearly as much as presence, connection, and care. The obsession with size has always been a distraction. A lie designed to keep men chasing shadows instead of showing up fully. But once that illusion fades, what remains is something far more powerful than size will ever be. A man who knows that real pleasure starts not in the body but in the mind, and is only magnified by the heart. And that is more than enough.